Dems are just playing games, have no intention of doing anything to solve this decades-old problem. We can pass great legislation after the red wave. Pollsters are split on which party will be the big winner on election day. Democrats are already leveraging family separations as a wedge issue, painting Trump as heartless in a bid to motivate their base and swing independent voters to their side. With his executive order this week, Trump is signaling that he's trying to turn the public relations nightmare into a long-shot victory for the GOP. According to a person familiar with his thinking, he's convinced he can successfully brand congressional Democrats as obstructionists willing to increase violent crime rates and sacrifice the welfare of children in order to win back control of the House and the Senate. But that Oval Office view came after days of indecision, with aides tugging Trump in multiple directions about how to handle the spectacle of more than 2,000 minors pried away from the parents and other guardians who brought them into the U.S. The president is growing increasingly frustrated with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, the person said Friday, as the man with his finger on the nuclear option button refuses to push it. Trump wants McConnell to abolish the filibuster rule, which allows any senator to insist on time-consuming debates and a 60-vote threshold before a bill can be brought to the floor. Republicans hold only 51 of the 100 seats, a large enough majority to pass legislation, but insufficient to actually force a vote. Even if we get 100% Republican votes in the Senate, we need 10 Democrat votes to get a much-needed immigration bill, and the Dems are obstructionists who won't give votes for political reasons and because they don't care about crime coming from border. Trump boomed on Twitter. So we need to elect more Republicans in November and we will pass the finest, fairest and most comprehensive immigration bills anywhere in the world. Right now we have the dumbest and the worst. Dems are doing nothing but obstructing. Remember their motto, resist. Ours is produce. Trump wrote in another tweet. The Senate could become more reliably Republican next year since Democratic incumbents must defend far more of the in-play seats than the GOP. For now the jogjam is in the House, where competing factions were unable to agree on a compromise proposal, despite an in-person presidential plea this week, and forced Speaker Paul Ryan to delay a planned vote until at least Monday. Trump said Thursday that Democrats were responsible for a massive child smuggling industry in the United States that allowing human traffickers to turn a massive profit. Traffickers are making a fortune, he said during a cabinet meeting, thanks to loopholes that are all Democrats' fault. It's a whole big con job, the president charged. They'd let it happen. Even before he took office, Trump noted that Mexican coyotes were helping a flood of unaccompanied minors illegally cross the border. Because of laws requiring the U.S. to release Central American minors after 20 days, Trump fumed, "You might as well save your time. Don't bother catching them." President Trump had initially planned to have his cabinet meeting behind closed doors. He opted to open it up at the last minute to reporters. Making use the bully pulpit, Trump said his administration is working swiftly to address the illegal immigration crisis on the southern border and close loopholes in our immigration laws supported by extremists. Open border Democrats. That's what they are, the president asserted. They're extremists. Open border Democrats. If you look at Nancy Pelosi and you look at Chuck Schumer, you'll see tape where they wanted to have borders. They needed borders for security. The president added, people are suffering because of the Democrats. So we've created, and they've created, and they let it happen, a massive child smuggling industry. It's exactly what it's become. Traffickers, if you think about this, human traffickers are making a fortune. It's a disgrace. These loopholes force the release of alien families and minors into the country when they illegally cross the border. Trump said that Democrats are being told by Schumer and Pelosi not to help Republicans with illegal immigration because they want to pick up seats in the midterm elections. They don't care about the children, they don't care about the injury, they don't care about the problems, they don't care about anything. All they do is they obstruct because they have no policies that are any good. He charged. They're not good politicians. They got nothing going. All they're good at is obstructing, and they generally stick together. The president said he respects Democrats' pack mentality, and that's about it, because on the whole their policies stink, and they're likely to lose in November at the ballot box. They have no ideas. They have no nothing, the Democrats. All they can do is obstruct and stay together and vote against and make it impossible to take care of children and families and to take care of immigration, he contended. Trump said that the family separation is just a small aspect of the changes that need to be made to the U.S. immigration system. We should be able to do a bill, he said, just as House Republicans yanked 2 pieces of legislation dealing with immigration ahead of a scheduled vote. I'd invite them to come over to the White House anytime they want. This afternoon would be good. After the cabinet meeting would be good, he said. They are invited, officially. I'll let you do the inviting. Let the press do inviting. Trump was supposed to host Democrats on Thursday in the evening at the congressional picnic that presidents put on every summer for members of Congress and their families. He postponed the event yesterday because it did not feel right with so many issues left unaddressed. The president made clear both on Twitter and in meetings at the White House that aired on national television that he is not backing down from his immigration battle with Democrats in spite of a carve-out for children and families that he dictated yesterday, under pressure, through an executive order. Trump assailed the Democratic position in Thursday tweets that a greater number of judges are needed to cut down on indefinite detention of undocumented immigrants at the border. We shouldn't be hiring judges by the thousands, as our ridiculous immigration laws demand. We should be changing our laws, building the wall, hire border agents and ICE, and not let people come into our country based on the legal phrase they are told to say is their password, he said. He also put pressure on Democrats to get behind the 2 immigration bills that Republicans planned to put forward for a vote in the House but later scuttled. Both bills would have given him the funding he requested for his border wall and moved to a merit-based immigration system. The more moderate of the 2 would have provided a pathway to citizenship for illegal immigrants who came to the U.S. as children. The compromise bill would also have codified an executive order Trump issued Wednesday to prevent children and families from being separated. Trump said the Department of Homeland Security should detain families together unless a child's welfare is threatened. His directive said that all family cases at the border should be prioritized whenever possible. But he emphasized Thursday that family separation is also Democrats' fault. Democrat and court-ordered loopholes prevent family detention and lead to family separation, no matter how you cut it, the president insisted. I signed a very good executive order yesterday, but that's only limited. No matter how you cut it, it leads to separation ultimately. I'm directing HHS, DHS, and DOJ to work together to keep illegal immigrant families together during the immigration process and to reunite these previously separated groups. His directive called on DHS to shoulder the costs of detaining families together for as long as it takes for their cases to be heard by a judge. He made clear on Thursday in his messages that on any other aspect of the family separation issue he would not budge. Trump said that lawmakers must use their authority to overhaul the immigration system once and for all. The border has been a big mess and problem for many years, he said. At some point Schumer and Pelosi, who are weak on crime and border security, will be forced to do a real deal, so easy, that solves this long-time problem. Schumer used to want border security, now he'll take crime. Pelosi and Schumer, the top Democrats in the House and Senate, and their caucuses, were not expected to provide any votes for legislation today backing the president's immigration priorities. Democrats want open borders, where anyone can come into our country and stay. This is Nancy Pelosi's dream. It won't happen. Trump harped on Twitter. Pelosi at a news conference shortly after his tweet said, "The Democrats have taken full responsibility for securing our border. We know that is a responsibility that we have, but we don't think that we have to put children in cages to do it. There is a better way." And the president is either not knowing, not caring, delusional, in denial about his own policies being outside the circle of civilized human behavior, she said. Share this article. Share.